Hello everyone, Craig here. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk 76. Today we'll be talking about PvP and quests. I'll be joined by Stacks, Convict and Gear once again. But first, a couple of small things worth mentioning. On Tuesday, we got our weekly Atom Store update, and with it, the return of the free states items. They're not bundled this time, and they're available for the next 2 weeks. Also, we achieved our goal of killing 35 million spots for Project Queen Appalachia. To celebrate, the Purveyor is holding a 50% sale starting today, the 17th. So get on down to Berkeley Springs and trade in that script you've been saving. Alright, so before we start, we just want to go over today's Inside the Vault. Figured we'd do this kind of as a separate video on the Thursday because we recorded the podcast last night. The Wednesday night kind of keeps our opinions separate from the Inside the Vault because, well, we'll get into that. But, so to start, the Inside the Vault starts off talking about Wastelanders, and I think Convict was going to talk about that.
Alright, so my phone has frozen, so I'm not able to pull up the direct wording right now. But to quickly sum it up while I wait for my phone to start working again, Bethesda has announced that the Wastelanders DLC that everyone was hoping would be dropped in November to celebrate the first year of Fallout 76 coming to a close has been moved back to Q1 of 2020. Now, real quick, Q1 can mean a lot of different things, but we've actually looked at this, and ZeniMax has their quarters defines their quarters as being 3 months long from January 1st to March 31st, April 1st to July 1st, June 31st, so on and so forth. So we should still be seeing this by the end of March, provided that we see no further delays.
I mean, it's also worth to note they put up a couple of screenshots from Wastelanders with it. I'll try and
if I can get them to load.
And I'll try and get them to pop up. But there's a couple of things I want to talk about the screenshots while we're here. Yeah, that screenshot that we just showed you there. It was basically it's a picture of the Overseer. Well, I think it's the Overseer. It's pretty obviously the Overseer because if you look at the intro video from 76, it's got a similar hairstyle and stuff. And the name for this picture, I think it was it WL Leader or something like that?
Yeah.
So it looks like the Overseer's going to come back, and it looks like it's in the Batoga Civic Centre, which is kind of cool. So who knows what that is? And then there's another picture which will make pop up, and it is of a woman in it's actually an NPC ghoul in the background, a non-feral, which is cool. But the more interesting thing is the picture's named WL Duchess. So I think that's Duchess from Welch, but who knows? But moving on with the Inside the Vault stuff, we've got the announcement private worlds are coming, so private games. Basically, they're going to say, the ability to play in your own private world with friends has been a #1 community request feature. Personally, I'm really excited for it. They said it's a service offered to everyone, not just a private server. So I don't know what it means by that, but I think that's referencing, you'll be able to use private servers for modding and hopefully put your own settings on them. Who knows? But I'm just happy to see private servers come. Don't know about you guys.
Personally, I can't wait to see what shenanigans we get up to in one of those.
Yeah, definitely. Please,
I want to see how many landmines I can stack on top of each other.
Just give us persistent workshops and build anywhere, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, so without Wastelanders coming in November, it's probably likely that we'll get more stuff probably between now and then, including some more like quality of life improvements, some stability fixes. They might be able to focus on that more, as well as Wastelanders, because not everybody in that development team is going to be working on Wastelanders. So we've already got the Mischief Night event. It's going to start on October 29th and end November 5th, or November 4th, November 5th. We're going to have most likely a Thanksgiving event, or even, I hope, there's no like actual confirmed reports or like even rumors about it, but Flashlight Day may be in November, even though it's unrelated. Well, let's get started. And of course, a Christmas event, and maybe even a New Year's event for all those who celebrate that, and maybe even another community challenge. I'm kind of hoping for that.
A New Year event could be real cool, actually. Yeah, one thing I kind of wanted to go over was the Atom Store stuff that they mentioned at the end, and it's basically they say, they want the app store to be rewarding, and they're going to change their approach to how apps are earned through challenges and stuff. Um, it's just very vague. It doesn't. It tells us a lot of things without saying anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people on Reddit say it's almost like a politician's statement. You know,
it's
it's just
definitely it's more
it's almost like dodging
intentionally
a subject.
vague.
Yeah,
Intentionally vague to kind of avoid any kind of like rumors or just kind of like negative rumors before they actually release something that could be useful.
yeah,
And like, that it's obvious that their promises in the beginning, well they're broken, but like they also broke the no NPC like, pledge to that. Indeed, Hans said the same thing with cosmetic only. Kind of ended with maybe kind of going forward with the next year. They do kind of go off the original word of the developers and the higher ups that it would be cosmetics only.
I think at this point, I mean, it's a bit too far gone, but honestly, we'll save that for another time because I think that's us pretty much covered all the news in the Inside Development this week. Said there'll be more news coming on private games in the next couple of days, so we'll probably cover that next week. Next week we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about actually, because also patch 14 is on the 23rd, which coincidentally is the day we record. So
And depending on how private servers launch, if they launch on time, we may have some details on those if we have a chance to experiment with them.
yeah, but yeah. So we're going to get back to the normal podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about the Inside Vault this week. I'm sure everyone's got their own opinions on how it went. But yeah, back to your normal program. All right, we're back. We're back. Episode 2. I didn't think we'd actually get to this point where we'd actually make a second episode, but we did. So
Yay!
I think we'll probably just start off, see what everyone's been up to this week, how you've kept yourself busy, talk about some recent shit that's happened. So anyone want to take the stage and start us off?
I'll go this time. So, in Fallout, I spent most of the last week just trying to earn caps, as usual, spending caps to buy plans, and trying to get script. Because we unlocked that sale, 50% off, so the amount of weapons we can get out of that is going to be insane.
I can try and get some decent armor pieces as well.
I'm hoping everyone's saving up some caps, because the market's about to get flooded with a lot of high-value shit.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of good legendaries floating about in vending machines for a while.
Oh yeah.
It's
gonna be like when the vendors first came out all over again.
Yeah. But what about you, Stacks? What have you been up to? What have you been doing?
I've been single-handedly killing every scorched in Big Ben the past week.
Yeah.
Sweating my face off doing that stuff.
All hail the new fire breathers.
On the grind.
On the grind. Gear, you been up to anything interesting this week?
Making chems, making caps, killing scorched. Yep.
Cool. Right, so per last week, we will do some focus segments. And, I think, well, originally we had a different plan, but I'll explain that later. So today we'll start with, we're going to talk about quests. So, past experiences with quests, the quest you like the least. Maybe talk a little bit more about Wastelanders, since, we are getting close to it, and we'll talk about how Wastelanders impact the quest line. So, to start, I guess I'll say past experiences with quests. So far, I think with quest lines, there's not enough. I felt like the main story was very short, but that could just be because I tanked through it and I didn't really pace myself properly. But I made a new character recently and I've been taking my time with the quest, like taking my time to level, making sure that, I'm the right level for the right areas instead of just powering through.
I mean, honestly, though, you are right about the storyline. It is a bit short, even if you take your time and follow it, the order it's supposed to be followed, which I'm still not 100% sure on the order it's supposed to be followed, to be honest.
I think the orders you go Resplendo's storyline.
Like, Brotherhood and Enclave are the only two that I'm screwy with.
Well, the Enclave's after Brotherhood, 100%, because what happens is you go to Responders, they send you to fire breathers send you to raiders send you to free states send you to Brotherhood, and at the end of the Brotherhood it gives you a quest, which I actually never even heard of until I did a new playthrough, was you actually go to the Charleston Herald and you have to research into where Sam Blackwell went.
Huh.
And you
Yes.
I never even saw that quest.
yeah, and you have to listen to like interviews with you actually listen to the full interview between the reporter and Sam Blackwell. It's really cool. So let's talk least liked quests. What was your least favourite quest you've done?
Rose.
Mayor for a day.
Mayor for a
Oh,
day.
actually, yeah. I changed my mind. He's right. He's right.
Yeah, like, see that fucking rooftop battle?
I still
Right,
haven't
yeah.
done it on this character yet. I'm strong enough that I can do it, but at this point I'm just like, fuck it, I'll fight all you damn robots.
I haven't done it before.
Seriously? Ever?
Yeah. Oh.
So when you walk
Never
into the
finished it.
Togo, you just kind of get your crap pushed in. That's amazing. I feel like it should have stayed that way.
Like, most of the quests in the game aren't that bad, honestly. It's just the lack of human NPCs that made it weird, you know?
Lack of an atmosphere. It's important to the plot that all the characters dead. There's just the atmosphere that I hope Wastelanders will kind of bring.
Like, it's hard to do storytelling when it's a corpse.
Speaking of Wastelanders, and that is actually one of our bullet points for, our quest segment. How would you say Wastelanders, or how do you think Wastelanders will affect the main quest line? 'Cause I think it's really fucky. I'm really worried about how it's gonna, how they're
Same.
gonna implement it.
Hopefully, they'll have it so that way that there's like different quest lines, not just one singular quest, but different quest lines for each faction. That way, because that way, no one will get the same experience. And I didn't really quite I understand why there's just the one quest line going through all the factions, but I didn't really care for that. If I'm going to pick a faction, I want to just stay with that faction. I don't want to do everything.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of quests. I think there were a lot more quests. I figured the daily quests, and you do have a lot more quest lines that aren't actually related to the main story. You have the Grafton Mayor quest line. Technically, it's just kind of like collecting for tourism. Is it called Bureau of Tourism or something?
Yes, that's exactly the name of it. I know that I haven't done it yet.
You have Mayor for a day. They're unaligned. And it kind of... There's a lot of stuff. It's just you don't get enough choices. And I feel like with Wastelanders, there will also be the speech options. You can kind of change the outcome. Or you can have a peaceful option. So instead of slaughtering every raider in town, or every vault dweller, or every Wastelander in town, you can kind of solve it by telling them to get... pack up and leave.
Fuck out of here.
Alright.
My concern is, same with what Craig said, the whole implementation thing. Just, year one, the story is, the world is destroyed, there's scorched everywhere, how are you stopping this? Year two, humans are back. How do you implement these two extremely different storylines, one of which has to build on the other, without ruining the experience for everyone by dividing the player base?
I know they say instancing, but I don't want this case where, I'm fighting raiders on my screen, but someone just sees me fighting mid-air, empty space, and another their screen,
Yeah. Because they can't just do indoor-only fights, because that gets boring so fast.
Yeah, I miss being able to just occasionally come across a ruined house, and you go in the door, and there's a fucking raider standing there,
Should never come here!
A lot of places, I feel like it'll just be replaced by raiders. I mean, I just feel like it's kind of, or like raiders or wastelanders or the other factions that might be coming. Cult of the Mothman, Point Pleasant is full of scorched all the time.
Replace them
It'd
with
be nice to see
cultists. Yeah.
Mothman cultists. Yeah. They might not even be hostile. They'll just be kind of there, and you have to
they're not hostile as long as you have a lamp.
Tidings.
You're carrying a miner's lamp. Stick you up.
Bad.
Hey, I can make worse. You know me.
We do know you. That's the problem. Okay, so we were talking about how quests affect, how they're going to affect the main story. On the topic of the main story, what did you guys generally think of the main quest line on a whole?
It was
I
mostly
liked
good.
it, but
It's just
I enjoyed it, but the lack of choice.
the only time that felt like you could have had a human NPC instead of the like a holotape or a voice monitor was Abby Singh's quest, because I feel like the entire time she just kind of assumes she's dead. It's kind of like it's kind of playing on the fact that they don't have human NPCs in the game. So they're kind of forcing on with that.
Yeah, like imagine that whole quest line. You were actually Abby was in a bunker. You know,
Abby was in another bunker off scene. Like
because like
there were some times.
It's like playing Mario and the Princess is another castle, but instead it's Abby in another bunker.
Abby's in another bunker. She kind of just assumes she's dead. I should go to Rose.
It's a fair assumption, though.
I mean, fair play to the main story. It is interesting, and like I get the whole idea was there'll be no NPCs in it, and they had this whole idea that players would take up like the roles of the NPCs, so to speak. But I feel like the story might have slightly suffered from not having
It did.
Like, I don't feel as attached to the story. I don't feel like there's much weight to it.
Like literally, the only NPC I give a rat's ass about, period, would be the Overseer. That's it.
Yeah, and
And it's only because you hear her voice the most throughout the entire game, because you find like 8 of her holotapes.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure she has the most lines of any NPC.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Modus.
I would really like
He's
to
a
see
creepy
her come
fuck.
back in Wasteland. So honestly, I feel like she will, but we'll need to wait and see. I guess.
Like I don't doubt that she will, because it's clear that she's like. You remember the end of the holotapes with her, how they act like she's dead. Spoilers, I'm sorry for anyone who hasn't done this yet, but it's been almost a year, so you have no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But how at the end of the last holotape, you find out by the bed and breakfast over in the Divide, how she gets attacked by mole miners and presumably knocked out or killed or whatever. But the fact that that we have her voice in the Wastelanders trailer talking about year 2 like that shows that she's still alive in some capacity.
Exactly.
Well, alive and at least functioning if she can still speak.
I mean, there was loads of like fan theories, like the Overseers, the purveyors, the Overseer and shit. And that's like really, come on.
The Overseer is not Mole Bomb.
They're just kind of playing on the fact that mole miners could have very well kidnapped her.
Well, I'm pretty sure they did.
I don't think they kidnapped her. I think they'll probably have it that she got found by a Wastelander. Simple.
A Dweller.
But at the same time, if she's around to see you launch a nuke, again, spoilers, you get a holotape, that tells you how she's disappointed. Actually, she only says she's disappointed if you nuke anything that's not a Fisher site.
Here's my thing. I only found that holotape once, and when I did it, it's after I launched a nuke at Fisher Site Prime, so I've never actually heard the one where she's disappointed.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm disappointed, you're supposed to use those nukes for good. It's like, can you really use a nuke for good? Right, so I think that pretty much covers our topic for quests. It was a lot more focused this time. We kind of, managed to sort of get things cleaned up. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick interlude for 30 seconds, which will be right about now. Alright, we're back with the Reddit segment. Who wants to start us off?
Well, this time. So, first post I've got, related to what I mentioned earlier in the podcast, when I talked about getting ready for that Purveyor thing this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So this is by MaxSteel13. I didn't read the notice and thought it was 35 million Scorched beasts we had to kill instead of just Scorched. I've killed hundreds of Sierra Bravos thinking there's no way we can kill 35 million of these goddamn things.
Oh god.
And I just want to give a moment of silence to this poor bastard.
Yeah, I'm gonna head over there and just give that guy an upvote. I feel for him.
Honestly, like...
Take your points.
I'm hoping he was a bloody build of some kind, like bloody unarmed maybe, just anything except for heavy weapon, because my heart hurts at the idea of how much ammo that would take from a heavy weapon build to kill at least 100 scorch beasts in a week.
I can't even even think about killing that many Scotch beasts, to be honest.
Like,
Fuck that.
I mean, I can think of killing that many, but only under one circumstance. They turn off how quickly like the 3-hour delay between launching nukes, so we can just non-stop back-to-back mainline nukes at the Fisher sites.
I'm gonna assemble a lot of nukes.
Anyone else got a Reddit post
Exactly.
they'd like to talk about this week?
I've got one. It's more pertaining to the Atom Shop, and it's no Halloween gear in the Atom Shop on the October 15th update, and it's a guy kind of displeased with it. And it talks about, this is a patch, or I think patch 14, if it comes out the 22nd, it's likely that we'll probably see some Halloween stuff, and I'm hoping that Mischief Night has some Halloween decoration plans that we get, similar to Foxnot Day, and that it comes out, and I really see that coming, but I hope it comes a little bit sooner than that, so we can actually get some Halloween camps, because I've seen people already planning on putting candy in their vending machines.
Yeah. Halloween candy, you get that from Watoga High, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Monster
from the
Mash.
Monster Mash. The Monster Mash. It was a copyright strike.
This is a bit on the spot because I've literally just seen it as I loaded up Reddit though. This is what I
Alright.
had planned on talking about, but this is actually quite a cool idea. From the user Dark Carcass, I'll give him an upvote for this. We need a canning station. Canning station, I should say. It would take cooking to a whole new level.
I've seen that before.
The
Yeah, I
ability
saw
to
that
can
one.
your food so they will not expire to allow people to easily sell food in their vending machines and would bring a lot more value to high-end recipes like brain bombs, cranberry relish, and scorched beef stew. And Bethesda even replied on it saying, awesome idea passing this along. That's pretty cool. I like that
Yeah,
idea.
I've heard people mention canning stations before, and I've always hoped that Bethesda would be able to implement it in some way, because it sounds really fun.
Alright. Gear, you got anything from Reddit you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, this one is. I want to have you guys answer it too. It's a question of knowing what you know now. What would you have done differently if we all went back in time to the beta launch day? And I don't want you to say save caps because that's the easy answer. What I would do is actually do the survival weapons weekly challenge. I missed out on a lot of them.
Yeah. True. Don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I probably would have done too much differently. I would have stopped and read a little bit more, because I did the quest in our kind of consensus correct order from responders to, because I didn't know, I don't think I knew any of you by the time I completed the main quest, just because
Yeah.
I didn't speak to the Enclave. I mean, I didn't really have much knowledge of the factions either, because I kind of didn't look too far ahead. I didn't even really use Reddit when I first got this game, so.
I wouldn't
But I
have
would've-
gave away that responder fireman outfit to that responder role player if I'd known how rare it was.
you did that? Oh my, Craig!
Remember ages ago I gave it to that cultivator? I won't say his name here, but yeah, I gave it. Remember it was when the responders were there was that responder Discord, and he was one of the admins on it, and I was like, you know what, man? But this was way before people knew how rare it was. So this was when the game first sort of came out, So
Yeah, because when that server, I know what server you're talking about, when that was still active, that was what, January?
yeah,
Nah, I think it was
Yeah.
a little. Nah, it wasn't. It was started in January. They were active until mid-February, and then they changed it to another server. Completely rebranded for away from Fallout, more
Yeah.
towards general games.
And then it just died. Rest in peace.
I've got Reddit posts here I'd like to talk about.
Well, if I may,
Oh,
the one thing I would have done differently is my first build, because everything after my first build, I knew what I was doing. I knew that there was a limit and everything. My first build, I went into this like it was Fallout 4, where I can get 1,000,000 perks if I level up enough times. I didn't realize 50 was the limit. That's it. So I was out here going, okay, I want a little bit of rifles, a little bit of heavy guns, a little bit of melee, and I'm just like, so I can do 5 extra points of damage to every single weapon, and I have no way of actually fighting anything useful with these. So then I spent another 50 level fixing my build.
Yeah.
was painful.
Perk cards and perks and builds. It's...
And then how long we had to wait before we could respec, that killed me. That's why I had this character.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, is it perk loadouts?
Yeah, they're rolling out with Wastelanders, hopefully.
Q1 2020 for a lot of the stuff that we've been hoping for a while, but it's been
Just
pretty
that
good.
the
that they
PCs had for
announced
ages. Mods.
Yeah, mods.
Alright. Reddit post here I want to talk about, just a quick one. Should hopefully be able to get the picture to come up. If not, I'll put a link for the post in the description. But so it says, finally convinced my girlfriend to play Fallout 76. She's clearly overwhelmed by amusement, and I'll make the picture appear now, hopefully. If not, it's basically just a picture of a dude with his girlfriend in game, and she does not look amused. But yeah, it's pretty funny, and I know it was quite hard to get my girlfriend to play 76. I can't remember the last time she actually played with us.
Tell her she needs to get on, and we need to play some more Nuclear Winter together.
You know, she watches these when I upload them, so you know what, we'll tell her right now, Robin, you need to come on Fallout 76.
Join us, dang it. We need to play some Nuclear Winter. We need to get the team back together.
The 8.
Get out on that grind.
I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure we've won like almost every single time Robin's played with us.
Yeah.
Like legit.
It's like a good luck charm. But
basically.
anyone else got a post they'd like to talk about?
I've got one more. This one is by u/Ricky Sticks. So, October 13th, 2018. The first Fallout 76 pre-release public beta session occurred. Perhaps I've overlooked something, but searches regarding this Red Letter Day in Fallout 76 returned nothing from yesterday. Oh, how things have changed.
Yeah.
So, it's been just over a year since we got into the game, and... Well, on one hand, I missed the early days, the good, everyone working together on stuff, going along the storyline, the bad, the hordes of T-bows being scorched,
I missed the
and the what the fucks.
I missed the fields of vault suits. Remember when everyone still had their vault suits on?
Yeah.
I can't
And you'd
remember
see, like,
last
a
time I saw
horde.
player. Like, see a player that wasn't like with us, you know, we wear vault suits just because it looks cool.
Yeah.
But like, see, like when you run around, you don't really see people wearing vault suits anymore. It's like
It's like, even if it's like a stash box character, they've still built whatever Atom Shop outfit they have for it.
I see a lot of people kind of aligning to their factions.
I will 100% be rocking a vault suit for Wastelanders.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Enclave personally, just because I have that full suit of Scout that I love.
Raider.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't possibly guess what faction you're gonna side with.
Yeah.
Jokes, Ken.
I was going to say, I was going to try and like call what faction I'll side with, but I can't really say at this point.
I'll side with whoever's giving me that freaking power armor from the trailer.
The one that looks like it's a Chinese bunker.
Yeah.
Well, from what I know, along with like not separating from players, I think you're probably going to be able to do both the quest lines, kind of in a way. Just kind of matters about the ending, because I don't think there's any true ending in 76.
They talked about that at, I can't remember what it was, the panel, was it QuakeCon? The QuakeCon panel?
It was QuakeCon, yeah.
After E3.
He talked about you're not really tied down to one quest line. You can play the factions against each other almost. And you can kind of
And they also said at one point that you couldn't kill NPCs to get their outfits, so we can't just be like hippity hoppy, I like your jacket, it's mine now, and just blow them away.
Yeah. Which is fine, to be honest.
Yeah, it's fine, but at the same time, it's kind of sad. Because I don't want to. If there's a Preston Garvey style character, I want to kill them immediately just for the fact that they exist.
Yeah, you can't get the Traveler's Leather Code off of an NPC after somebody else spent 75k caps, 10k 556, a firstborn, and a bottle of shine for. And people give their arm and limb for some of those outfits, even if they're non-atomic shop. It's kind of like the Responder Fireman outfit, Western outfit.
Yeah, the Responder
Some of the
Fireman
red
outfit,
stuff
there's a dead body in Morgantown Airport wearing it. It's like it's right
Yeah,
there.
that'd be.
It's also rotted onto the bodies at this point. You don't want to wear that, trust me,
Sure.
Craig.
Especially at the mask.
Maybe it's put it through the cycle.
Now that one bit
You
in the
put
Walking
that on
Dead.
and you get every disease in the game, plus 5 more you haven't heard of before.
Might finally get the whoopsies.
So I think that kind of takes us up to.
I still haven't caught that. It's been a year.
I think that takes us to the 15-minute mark, roughly, for talking about Reddit, which is pretty good.
More than probably.
So, on that, and speaking of Reddit, last week when we posted our video to the Fallout 76 Reddit, we had a lovely user comment and ask if we could talk about PvP. So I think what we'll do is we'll take another short interlude, and then for the last segment I'd like to simply talk about PvP, a very touchy subject. So we'll be back right away.
Some people.
Alright,
Okay.
so we're back with the new segment. And this is one suggested from the community last week, and it's PvP. I know some people have a certain opinion about PvP in 76, but I'm interested to hear from you guys. Also, this is probably a good time to say if you've got any thoughts yourself, if you're watching or listening or whatever, comment on the Reddit post if it's still here. I don't know. They'll let us post again, but we'll see. And also take it up on our YouTube channel. Comments below. Let us know your thoughts on PvP. So, moving on, I think Stax, you wanted to start us off on the current state of PvP.
As for current state, I feel like after they deleted survival, it's still just as existent, but just more you have to organize it more, which I think that's what survival kind of lacked in all reality was the lack of organization. Train stations were kind of like the hot spot, but it wasn't really allowing you to spawn really to kind of fight them. I think people were just trying to get cheap kills and take aid and caps. And of course, now that Nuclear Winter is like the only like official PvP mode, I kind of like the fact that it's organized. Like team death matches and everything aren't really like Fallout style, but I feel like that would organization for it. PvP zones, more PvP events such as Monster Mash and the battle at Predicate Sport, the battle that never happened.
Yeah, the battle that never happened could be done a lot better. It's kind of
I've never actually done that event.
I've not seen that appear in a long time.
I
The only time I saw
used
it
to run
here,
with friends.
I didn't know what it was, and I was in the middle of trying to do a quest, so I was trying to finish that quest. And I've never seen it again since, and it angers me because it's like it sounds like it could be fun, whatever it is.
I think.
You have to trigger it. You go up and talk to them and it triggers.
Well, what we could do one day, it's just for a fun little thing, is, and we could even record a little bit of it to show people, is we could maybe try and go do it, and we split into two teams, and we'll wear the uniforms and use black powder rifles. That could be a lot of fun.
Fixed bayonet.
That could be a lot
Non-legendary, because I have a junkies, and that's not fair for you guys.
So,
No charger mutations as well, so we don't have me sprinting around 100 miles an hour like an idiot.
that could be fun. I could record it cinematically and stuff like that. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Alright.
So who's wearing Confederate uniforms?
I'm not. I'm West Virginia. We told the Confederates to go fuck themselves.
Well, we got a Missouri and
It's like
we got a
this.
Scottish fan.
I'm not. That's why I'm recording. I'm not taking part in it. I'm good with saying that.
You're doing exactly what England did during the Civil War. You're just sitting back there with popcorn watching.
England's for the south, actually.
Oh,
We would. That sounds
you ruined my joke. How dare you?
Alright, does anyone have any other thoughts on the current state of PvP? I've got my own thoughts, but I want to hear from you guys first.
On one hand, I feel bad for the people that used to like PvP a lot, because people that were trying to PvP were one of two people. They're either there's a lot more than two people, but you can mainly divide it in two categories. People that PvP because they want to have some fun. They also want to see like the best of the best. They want to see what they can accomplish if there's no limits whatsoever. No limitation of this perk, this gun, this location, whatever. This often meant you'd have people that had the perfect suit of armor because they bought it from someone spending months working on that perfect suit. And then all of a sudden, Bethesda goes, all right, you got 2 weeks. After that, this perfect suit that you worked on for ages, it's practically useless. It's a nice little paperweight now for you because you're not going to find anyone to PvP with again because we're getting rid of that mode.
I feel
So
like the people
screwed
that
a lot of people.
had that kind of armor, like people were going after the best armor. I feel like people with like full on like the crazy sentinel blood builds, the fact you can stack like mutation upon mutation and unyielding upon unyielding, and then of course blade explosive. They were the people that also killed the mode.
Yeah,
Other
because
than
you push
everyone
people out that
else.
if you couldn't afford the equipment to fight them, which is with their own equipment, then you'd leave the mode, which strangled it.
And also, it kind of takes away from the real glamour with Nuclear Winter is you can load in. You don't really have to grind it out as much just to get the good stuff. Other than like the perks, and that's kind of a good part about it, where
And the
people have
Hellfire
been
paint.
playing for a while.
So,
Yeah,
my opinion on survival, it's basically, I feel like survival should have been its own mode. Like it was its own mode, but you know what I mean? It should have been totally separate from adventure.
Like
See,
separate inventories.
yeah, like the problem was it was easy enough to just you'd go on adventure, get what you needed, hop on into survival. But see if the game had that straight up start fresh. Think about it. The higher level people are more likely to be in the higher level areas because it's not as easy to travel around.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you're going to see that tier in the levels as people do their quests, and not to mention, imagine it followed a Nuclear Winter style, where there was no legendary spawns, and people are going to say, "Oh, fuck that." But think about it. See if the combat system and the balancing that was in Nuclear Winter existed within a survival mode, where you had to start a fresh character, nothing from adventure carried over. I genuinely feel like that would be a great experience.
Yeah, because like there's a few things that obviously they still had to patch Nuclear Winter, like the Tez rifle with all its I don't know how to describe that without being really rude to a lot of people.
Quirks.
Let's go with quirks. But everyone who played Nuclear Winter back in the first 3 months knows exactly what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
But that's natural for a game to have things that need patched and fixed and tweaked. So the legendary system in Fallout is, well, broken, plain and simple.
Problem is, with the legendary system, it's too far gone now, to the point where it's hard to fix things without breaking.
I think that comes from PvE versus PvP. PvE it requires more damage output. PvP, you can actually kill a guy in 4 shots or less.
Yeah.
Just
Well, 2
because
shots
we
now
maxed
because
out
of the damage limit.
damage
It's like
limit
100
with
something
survival.
per hit, isn't it?
Yeah, it was 110 when survival was existing. That was a survival update.
Yeah, so it's like 2 to 3 hits to kill someone, as long as you're doing the max damage per hit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if survival just had like what you were talking about, the legendaries, I would have enjoyed it.
I
Yeah.
think it.
100%, I would have enjoyed it. Well, it would feel like it was, it's a balanced, a level playing field, and people wouldn't be so dependent on their weapons, and it would be more how you built your character.
And if they kept the survival legendaries in there, those would be the only legendaries, and everyone could get them.
Mhm.
That I feel like those legendaries would be fine.
Now I'm
Just everyone
picturing
could get
a server full of people using the action hero. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be happy or afraid.
Both. Because everybody can get it.
Or actually running bloody bills, because you can still get the mutations in the first.
The unstoppable, but Bethesda handed out the unstoppable monster as a challenge. So if that was a weapon still allowed, then it goes back to the original problem of legendaries being broken, because that by itself is one of the most broken weapons of the game—a bloody Deathclaw Gauntlet.
So
Yeah, but if they had that from the beginning, then they could have balanced out the legendaries that they would give it out for that mode.
Yeah.
I just like no explosive, no bloody, just regular like anti-armor or something like that. Simple legendaries.
Well, remember the creation of survival mode was from people complaining about griefers and people that wanted to PvP were just picking on people, basically taking work shots from a level 4 that just wanted to take towards junkyard, and also people asking for that PvP mode because people weren't hitting back, and it's like, well, yeah, because nobody wants to PvP. I feel like there's a small percentage of the population of this game that still hang around thinking, hey, I want survival back. And I want it back in the way it was before. Like, it was a very small player base.
Well, did they not say
Like,
that survival would
It's
make
like-
a return one day, but in
Yeah.
a different form?
What always killed me is everyone who, like, when the game first came out and it was announced, there was all this hype, and this is gonna get just a little bit of drama, but not much. All this hype where it was like with the factions, because we had a Minutemen server pop up saying they're gonna help everyone in Appalachia, and then everyone else joined in on the fun. And everyone always thought from the start that, oh, this is gonna be a massive player versus player Fallout experience, right? Online. And then the game drops, and it's like, you thought, and nothing like what anyone expected. So then everyone comes in, and a lot of people adapt, and they go, all right, PvE, let's do this. But then there's a vocal minority of players who wanted the game to be PvP. They wanted it from the start. And when it wasn't, they were so wanting it that they still try to make it PvP, even when it's not going to be a PvP game. PvP is possible in Fallout, but it's never going to be the giant faction versus faction warfare anyone wanted. And it's deluding yourself if you ever assume that it's going to be, at least with this game, a major combat system.
Well, on the faction versus faction thing, I remember a while ago I put a post up on Reddit myself. This was ages ago, and I'll actually look for it as I talk about it. But basically, I made a suggestion like how faction PvP could work. Let me try and find this. Sorry. If anyone else wants
Is
to
this
talk,
one you've talked about in parties before? You mentioned like shootout in the bunker.
No, you'll see. If anyone else
Well-
actually wants to take over, just know where I look for this.
Yeah, that's why you're looking it up. Yeah, while they also cater to like the majority of the thing, it's just like the actual faction PvP, Enclave Responder, BOS, Vault. I mean, Vault Dwellers are kind of all of the player base, but you know, it's just because we all started in Vault 76. But like the Free States versus Enclave events and all that, because it's more than just like the organized. Like you have to organize it yourself. I'd like to see more PvP events. That kind of just give you a weapon.
Like
Really nice stuff. Or
ones
use a
where
weapon.
it's like the monster match, how it forces you to wear that helmet.
Yeah.
The duel, or something like Showdown on High Street, something like that, where both people are forcibly equipped with the same weapon and they're unable to equip it for the duration of the event. And they're also providing enough ammo for the event, obviously. That way it's not screwing anyone over who has 5 rounds for a pistol.
I think I found it.
Actually, that would be, imagine that though. Just you're joining to an event, and you and someone else spawn downtown in Morgantown. You both have revolvers, and it's just take 10 paces and fire.
It's like the frat frat groups that turn into gangs after the bombs.
No. The only difference between a frat group and a gang is that frat groups burn more couches.
Throw more gang chairs out the window too.
Bodies found
You don't
in
get it. Morgantown is known for burning couches after a football game.
Right.
We win, we burn a couch. We lose, we burn 2 couches.
What if it's a draw?
We burn 3.
So I found this this thing I was talking about. So basically,
Alright,
this
let's hear it.
ages ago, 11 months ago, just not long after the game came out, actually.
It's like December, jeez. I think it's before I met you.
Yeah. So basically, the idea was once you completed the main storyline, you could select a faction to join, like effectively properly join, like you know. So once you pick this faction, it'd give you like, you know, the faction's emblem above your head. So you know how we've got like the Free States emblem, we've got the Raider emblems, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that would appear. It would then walk you to that icon while you were registered as said faction. So you know, if you're the Free States, you'd have a Free States emblem, so on and so forth.
Your enclave giant E above your head.
So then each faction could claim, if you claimed a workshop, it was claimed for that faction, and then your faction would get a passive bonus. So, for example, you know, if you took Blade Airport, you'd get Vertibird support, but not only would you get Vertibird support, everyone in your faction would get Vertibird support, and it would become a passive bonus for that faction. But then,
See, now with that... Oh, sorry.
sorry, no, that's alright, don't worry.
Oh,
And,
With that, there's... Oh, fucking...
I hate the
One of us
delay.
go!
It's caused the delay. So basically, if there's other factions, you don't have to use the slap system to engage with that other faction. So basically, by confirming, yeah, I want to be Brotherhood or I want to be Free States, you're opening yourself up to PvP from said factions.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about like if we're talking more on the like going on the future of it, the unprovoked PvP. like similar to some other games where pacifist mode in this game is more of a kind of like you just can't do damage. You can still get your workshop taken. I'd like to see pacifist mode becomes you cannot die from another player, but when you can't really take a workshop either. You come out of pacifist mode when you do that, and if you're not in pacifist mode, it's kind of like in survival mode where it's just unprovoked. And just I'd like to see that because a lot of other games do that, especially open world games. Without naming them, it's you got passive mode in some other games.
Yeah.
Kind of,
And
it locks you out of very minimal stuff, but it's a good protection for people that don't want to mess with other people or don't want to be messed with.
Yeah, people just want to chill and get supplies without spending hours fighting things. But one thing I wanted to bring up with that whole idea of passive bonuses from workshops. Now, there's another game I play on occasion. I'm not going to name it, but anyone who plays it knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's a huge online... Well, it's not huge per se, but it's like a lot of players per fight. It's a first-person shooter, and anyway, they have different locations you have to capture. It's a giant battle map. And when you capture a certain location, you have a perk. Like, you capture a tech plant, and you can spawn a heavy tank for your faction. Like, when you're... Well, the heavy tank... Every faction has a model of a heavy tank, and they can spawn their faction tank model whenever they own that workshop. But if they don't own that tech plant, they can't spawn anything. And then they can also control continents and get bonuses for their faction for as long as they control it. So it'd be a bit like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, like, imagine like a separate mode, and I know the idea of separate modes is horrifying, but imagine a separate mode. Where you picked a faction, it spawned in, and that faction's gear gave you an appropriate faction weapon. You know? And,
As long as it doesn't give me an Enclave Platinum Pistol, those things are bulky as hell.
well, and obviously there was some balancing in action, you know, just to make everyone sort of equal. And then,
Yeah.
for example, the longer you played, so it was just a big sandbox, basically, a faction sandbox, and each workshop kind of has a territory attached to it, and it breaks the map up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And maybe add a few more workshops in just because there's a huge lack of them in some areas.
So then, say I captured Wade Airport, I'd have control, you know, that northern area around Charleston.
Yeah.
So then, let's say I'm part of the Enclave, and that's now part of the Enclave's territories, so that, you know, then we get a passive bonus for owning that territory, we can move safely within it, we can spawn there. And I'd say you get what you could call faction experience, but your faction experience resets when you leave the server. So it encourages you to stay in the server, you know, and work your way through the ranks to get better equipment. You know, so it gives it replayability, because think about it, if you had progress saved per, you know, if you joined the server and got to a power armor rank, that's you've kind of done it, and there's nothing else to really achieve. But every round, you know, I join in and I start off and I'm just an Enclave foot soldier in combat armor, and I'll level up and eventually get scout armor, and then I get XO1. You know, that's motivation to, you know, contribute.
As long as they make sure it's not punishing to where it's like you get disconnected, because we can't pretend that disconnects don't happen in this game, and you lose all your progress. They'd have to make a failsafe for that, so you don't get absolutely screwed if you don't leave of your own accord.
Do you not remember they talked about recently a thing that they're going to implement a feature that the game will detect if you've been disconnected, and when you click play, it'll try and reconnect you to the last played server?
Yeah, but the keyword there is try. If it fails, then that person who just spent 8 hours in server number 5 just lost all their shit.
I guess it could be maybe like a 24-hour reset or a weekly reset or whatever.
Or maybe just make it have a certain cooldown, like if you get disconnected and they can tell you got disconnected, you have a certain amount of time where you can reconnect and not lose your progress.
Yeah.
Like half an hour buffer zone or something.
So we're still on the topic of PvP. Does anyone have any other things they want to talk about? I think we've got a few bullet points written down if anyone wants to bring any of them up.
Yeah, we can start going over some of the other bullet points, like builds, not just PvP builds, but just our builds in general too. Kind of like give us info on that.
Yeah,
Because I think we've all got pretty different builds.
So,
Yeah.
I guess I'll
Bold
start
of you
off.
to assume I have a build.
I basically have a perception and strength build, mainly. Because I basically have got two main weapons I use, which is an automatic 2-shot explosive laser rifle that's got the splitter, so it's kind of nasty, and it's got burning damage too, so it's kind of OP. So
Are
I've
we
switched.
flexing?
I use we flex, and then as you know, I've got a strength build just because I've got that axe, which you've got as well. Actually, don't you? You've got the same axe as me now.
Yes, I found the same exact axe in a vendor the other day.
How good a weapon is that thing? It's actually
Oh, it's amazing. I've only used it for a short while, but it's good.
it's a Scotch goose killer, dude, honestly.
Yeah.
It still kills me. I did something that happened to me. I found an exact copy of the Gauss rifle I used in a vendor and didn't realize it was the exact copy, so I bought it. Looked at the two and I was like, wait.
I mean, I sold you the exact same anti-armor DOS that I found in a vending machine too.
So it could have been that you sold me one. No. Yeah, because you found the Gauss. You called my attention to it. I didn't realize it was the exact same one when I bought it, and I'm just like, wait. So if anyone wants to buy a Gauss rifle,
Advertisements.
welcome to Let's
Yeah.
Talk 76. This is the HVC segment.
So let's go left. So Stacks, would you like to tell us about your build?
Well,
Wow.
Wow.
I usually run. I spent about a few months building like an entire Assassin's build, and then I was like, nah, I don't really want it. 'Cause it doesn't help outside of just PvP, which I kind of died out of. Like I didn't consistently go on survival anymore with anyone, and I switched over to Vanguard since it kind of helps against everything. You know, I got most of my Vanguard stuff from vending machines, save for I think a chest piece in the left leg, the main stuff that I wear. And then I've kind of gotten some pieces for Scout for my legs when I mainly run the full stuff with an outfit. As for weapons, I've always kind of been like a commando build, switching between riflemen. I think strength maybe 12, perception 11, agility 11. Anything else I can't really decide, but I've kind of always stuck with that. I've never really spent much time doing my build. And I kind of just got lucky when I figured out. I didn't have to respec much. But I've kind of spent most of my time since like maybe a month into the game with the TSC handmade that I didn't do anything dirty to get it, but I bought it from somebody for very cheap when they were cheap. And
You basically found the Rolex dealer in New York, but instead it was the TSC dealer in the White Spring.
Yeah, he unveiled his jacket and showed me some gold. And we were like, yeah. And it turned out to be copper. So yeah, but I'm kind of satisfied with it so far.
Cool.
Alright.
So alright, let's hear about your build.
My build currently was probably going to stay as is a Chunky's build. It's good for PvE. I don't really do PvP, so I got mainly melee focus because I like my axe, but I do have a commando that I can switch out to for like the queen or scorch beast or just a big bad boss that I can't handle up close, like Yao Guai, they hurt me.
Wait, you'd only being staggered 8 times a minute?
Nah, and ghouls for some reason changed.
I hate
Yeah.
those, the way they fucking yeet themselves in your fucking direction.
No,
I
I
don't mind that. It's just they do so much damage along with the radiation damage. So my health goes down from base damage, and then I get a ton of radiation on it.
Yeah.
Don't you love when a ghoul is sleep sliding around and eating your ass, but you can't hit it back?
T-pose.
Yeah. And then when you're melee build, so your swings only hit half the time.
Hey, at least you can hit. I can't even bat the stupid things. My bullets just hit thin air.
Yeah,
I've got,
ghouls aren't much of a problem when you have an instigating swing speed 9% reduced weight mole miner gauntlet like I do. That goes very well with my build.
I heard nukes do wonders for getting rid of ghouls, as well as miniguns, according to the Brotherhood of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
So we've heard about everyone else's builds. What's your build, Convict?
Well, I have 2 characters. One is unimportant and uninteresting because it's just built around building things. It was my original character, and it's just hot garbage is the only way to describe that build. There's no other way to describe it. There's no organization to it whatsoever.
Yeah,
But the build that I'm going to focus... Basically. But the build that I'm actually going to focus on here is this character that I'm playing on. It's a rifleman build that I built specifically around alternating between commando and rifleman, depending on what I need. So it's got high agility, so I can either cover ground quickly if I'm trying to snipe, or have lots of points in it for VATS for just mag dumping from my fixer if I'm in close range. And it's just built to be a survivalist character, so it can, for the most part, take care of itself, except for weapon repairs, obviously, as you've seen before, Sax. And making sure it has enough food. I just have Cannibal on there, and I just go to nuke zones for that inert flux for that sweet hydration.
So, for the last little bit talking about PvP, I thought it'd be quite a cool idea if I went round each of you and got a concept or idea for PvP in 76, be it a new mode or a way to fix it, which is going to be a tough job. Just your idea on PvP, just one idea from each of you. So I think I'll go round. I'll start with Stacks.
So, as opposed to having a new mode, or like until survival comes back, hopefully, like Q1 of 2020, I'd like to see just kind of a new story, but like a wanted player. It's kind of hard to find any wanted players anymore since destroying camps is rarity. The only really way to get a bounty, outside of killing, or actually no, you can't actually press the bounty anymore, but you can lockpick somebody's camp and you get like a 10 cap bounty, which was a 5 for everybody else. And I feel like when Wastelanders comes along, crimes against NPCs could be used as fuel for a bounty and let it be kind of more severe, like going to, where was it? If the crash space station is a settlement and you steal like a desk fan off somebody, you get like a 10 or 15 cap bounty. If you steal a weapon, or if you kill somebody, you get like 100 cap bounty. It gets even more severe. Like let crimes against it, similar to Skyrim, similar to Fallout in a way, or just Fallout 4 in a way.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I really like that
Becoming
idea.
a
Actually,
wanted player.
that makes a lot of sense. So and I guess that would come down to as well maybe implementing like a faction reputation. So you'd have reputation in a town. See, almost
Yeah.
like in Skyrim, you'd have like each hold. Dependent on which hold you went to, would depend on your bounty.
Yeah, to which region. Like, if you commit something at like the White Strength Bunker, it could apply to the forest or to the, don't come into the forest if you got a 200 cap bounty above your head because you killed 2 robots in the White Strength.
Yeah.
Or the Savage Sapphire, depending on
say
what.
like you pissed off a settlement. They won't let you come into that settlement until you pay your bounty.
Pay your bounty at a train station, like other game that I'm not going to mention.
Yeah.
I can't possibly guess what that game could be.
So next up, Gear, your concept or idea for PvP in 76. Let's hear it.
Well, you already kind of mentioned it earlier when we were talking about it, and I liked it. It's just survival, new character, no legendaries. Simple, easy. Sounds like fun.
It does sound like a lot of fun. More incentive. Almost imagine.
Yeah.
Right, here's an idea for you. Right. Sorry, I'll let Convict get his idea out.
Honestly, my biggest idea for survival, like for not survival, PvP in general, make it simultaneously more incentivized to PvP and less incentivized to PvP. Like in a game I'm not gonna name, but it's from the same people that made the other game that Stax wasn't gonna name. There's a feature where the more players you kill, the redder your dot gets on the map, which marks you as a psycho. Which in that game, there's, as far as I can tell, literally no difference between killing someone who's a psycho and someone who's a regular player. But they could implement something like that, where it's like, you can PvP in the server, but if you start killing a lot of people, people are gonna start hearing about you. You'll get marked on the map. There'll be a bounty of some kind, some sort of incentive for killing you, something to make it worth going after you. Make it so it's like the occasional PvP is fine, but if you become some warmonger, people are gonna know, and there's gonna be a high price on your head paid by Bethesda for your death.
Well, that comes to, that could come into again like a sort of reputation system where the more you engage in PvP, the more you're known to be a PvPer. So So
Yeah, so it's like NPCs might turn you away.
I don't touch it PvP, so I'd always just be like a white colored dot. But for example, people that always engage in PvP could be a red colored dot. Yeah, workshops are kind of sucks because as someone that doesn't enjoy PvP, I really want to take workshops to build awesome stuff. But I don't want to engage in PvP to have to do that, which sucks. And obviously camp budgets aren't exactly massive and the build areas aren't great. And just sometimes I'd really like to just be able to sit and build in a workshop and build up like a settlement sort of thing, you know?
And actually keep it between games.
Private servers, man. I'm telling you, private servers need to have persistent workshops. If we can...
Well enough. Workshops actually like don't get taken too much often now, unless it's like people just run around like, oh, I want this workshop. He's already got it powered up.
Or if they're like, I need 100 fusion cores right now.
As for me right now, I'm dealing with a problem where there are liberators at Reclamation Days. You could kill after this one. Actually, done with this.
I thought you were joking.
No, I'm not kidding.
What's your, is your workshop
Sex.
I am shaking. No, I need to retake it.
I need to launch a nuke on this character, so how about we retake it by launching a nuke?
Do that. Actually, do it.
But
yeah,
going to go launch a nuke after this? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, often though, we do find like you will sometimes run into people who just run around like trying to take anything that's owned because they feel like, oh, the work's already done, or I just want to be an ass. But most of the time I kind of just forget that I'm supposed to defend these things from AI also.
Yeah, it just slips your mind that you have it until you have that pop up. Retake the workshop from the Scorch Beast Queen. It's like, no, I don't think I will.
Yeah, I love the idea of workshop PvP because like you can really make some pretty interesting workshops, and like I like the idea of workshop presets too. That's like turning away from PvP, so I won't really go into it.
We can. Well, I think next week our main topic is actually going to be building because, as we all know, next week we'll be recording the episode on the 23rd of October, which is a big date.
Big date in the Fallout.
Yeah.
In the Fallout timeline.
I think what we'll probably do is we might be in a different place. We might be in a different studio. Since the theme is October 23rd, I figured our theme would be Rebuilding America. So to celebrate that, we'll mainly focus on talking about camps. And what I was thinking as well, maybe next week we can all sort of show off your camps. How's that sound?
Yeah.
I've got some work to do then. The bunker's only half finished.
We'll maybe do a little behind the scenes tour of the studio.
This is where Convict makes all of his bombs.
But yeah, we're getting totally off topic. We're still
intro. Someone sits down and the nuke goes off.
But so I think what we're going to do just is we're going to attempt to do a little customary thing at the end of the show. We're going to make Convict drink some Nuka Shine, and we're going to see where he ends up as we do the outro.
Adventure is out there.
So give us 2 seconds. Alright, so we're back. Convict's about to drink some Nuka Shine. And we'll just have our final thoughts, and we'll talk about, next week, the usual stuff. Kind of our outline for the next while, what the future holds for Let's Talk. So if you'd like to drink and commence the drinking,
Alright.
Commence the drinking.
Commence the drinking.
Okay, I have 1 minute.
You've got 1 minute?
I overestimated by a little bit.
Alright, so does anyone have any final thoughts?
Adventure is out there. We're gonna go find it one way or the other. Even if we drunkenly stumble our way into it.
So next week, like I said, we'll be focused, it'll be kind of like a Reclamation Day special. We'll talk about camps, that sort of thing. We'll try and showcase some camps. If anyone actually has a camp they'd like to show us, let us know. I can come see your camp in PS4, it'd be a lot easier if I could record it. But if you've got a camp on PS4 and you'd really like to show it off, let us know in the comments. The following episode will be a Halloween special where we'll be talking about cryptids and the scariest locations we've been in 76. How long have we got left, Convict?
We've got It says under a minute, so that means anything from 5 seconds to 2 minutes.
Well,
When your vision gets blurry, let us know. Outside shine's worn off.
Everything is rather reminiscent of the song of that one song, because everything's blue.
oh yeah, that's a great song.
We're all boo boys here.
And now everything's like fading to a weird muted gray.
Yep.
What did you guys put in
Goodbye.
this? I'm not sure if it's Nuka Shine. I'm not sure if it's Nuka Shine anymore. I'm pretty sure this is just a really bad drug trip.
Danger.
Did you put some of that? Did you talk to Rose and get some of that karma syringer in here? Because that's what it feels like.
Calm.
God,
You think it'll
I wish I
take
had that syringer still.
I hope it's the Skyrim.
I don't know. I wish I
That's
could
what I
have
was
kept
hoping as
that.
well.
I think it's hilarious.
There's one. I usually wake up out near Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I have left the building.
Oh, it is fading out.
Oh.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Now picture if I was sitting down, I just randomly disappeared, just like, ooh.
It's just got fucking Thanos snap.
Well,
Well,
Where'd you
I
end
mean, I
up
got-
at?
I'm still loading.
I think,
Have fun where you're at.
yeah. I'm interested to see where he's going to end up.
He's already on the map if you want to take a look at.
Hey, don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me.
I'm not.
I think more of the Soul Stone. It might pop up somewhere in the map. I don't know.
I wake up, I'm talking to Red Skull trying to get the Soul Stone. Where the shit am I? Where the Oh my gosh. So, you know out near Camp McClintock, how underneath that pylon someone like tried to build a house?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I just woke up.
Oh, nice.
I'm just standing right next to the couch.
At this point, we'll say goodbye in the studio and get a nice little cinematic of Convict's spawn location. But until next time, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching again. Thanks to Stacks Gear Convict for coming on once again, talking more
Yep.
shit with me. We'll see you next week for the Reclamation Day special.